Celtics have been first to the floor. They try to save with Horford. Unbelievable. Boston first to the floor. So good. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
We are back. Ben Vallis and Jake Eisenberg with First to the Floor. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. We have a guest, Celtics Twitter legend and host of the Corner Trey podcast. Trey, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Legend. All right. Well, thank you for having me. That intro got me pretty fired up. That was a pretty sick intro right there.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude. So if you're on Twitter, if you're online, you've probably seen the No Larry meme going around. And I don't know, Trey, like this might be your greatest contribution to society. It would be the greatest contribution that I've ever contributed to anything in my life. So if you know if you know, you know. I was trying to figure out how to explain this to like the older generation / Dad. I know you're listening. I don't know how to explain the Megamind meme to you. It might be a lost cause. I'm not sure the older generation really cares, but it is the perfect ammunition and rebuttal to any troll on the internet, anti-Celtics propaganda. It's just, the beautiful parade pictures. No Larry ? For all the other teams that don't have a Larry O'Brien. Eli in the Discord. I mean, every day he's got new No Larry memes for us. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah, man.
I remember it was like, I don't know, they won the championship and I had to work. I had to get to work at so my old job, I had to leave for work at 3:30 in the morning. They won the championship. So usually I'm those kind of nights I'm sleeping, but I was like, screw it. I'm not going to sleep when the Celtics win a championship. So I was like, and they win it, and I'm just freaking wired. So I'm up the entire night, and I'm just thinking, and I don't even know why it came to my mind, but I was like, oh, we won a championship before fucking Jimmy Butler and them. So I was like, in my head, it seemed like a perfect time to rub it in. So I was just and honestly, most of it was because we're all Celtics fans here, and the last 10 years, regardless of whatever they did, it was always they didn't win the fucking championship. They didn't win a championship. Well, you won 55 games. You get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Doesn't matter. You didn't win a championship. So guess what? Doesn't matter. Nobody else won the championship. We won. No Larry.
No Larry.
Yeah, I don't think I slept for days since we won the championship. It was a fucking awesome moment. Look, we've got a lot to get to.
3 days.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see it all again this year with Ben and 19, hopefully. We got a lot to get to tonight. We're going to talk about preseason winners and losers. There's maybe one loser that we'll touch on very quickly. Aron Baynes retired as well, so of course we're going to talk about Baynesy. And we're going to get to the very controversial ESPN Top 100. But regarding preseason, Trey, before we get into the winners and losers, how locked into preseason were you?
Pretty locked into the Celtics. I'm going to be honest. I kind of tap in and out for other teams. I just like to see, I guess the overall process. Okay, what are these teams trying out? What are they, what are the changes? I kind of want to see, new faces on new teams. I'm not super as I am during the season where I'm literally, watching full games and, bouncing around the league. I would say outside of the Celtics, I was really only tapping into, I watched a few Laker games. I watched a little bit of Karl Towns and the Knicks. Watched a little bit of the Bucks just to see where they're at, what they're doing. Some of the Suns. I just like to see teams that got new coaches, new players. See what's going on. What are they gonna maybe look like during the season?
Yeah, preseason is funny. It's if it's your team, you can, and it looks good, it means something. But if you see another team look good, you just say it's preseason. It doesn't matter.
Fake.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it in May. I don't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean to be playing in May.
Yeah. But Peyton Pritchard. But Peyton Pritchard's going off for 20 a game in May, so that's what I know.
That's
sure.
appointment television. Preseason Peyton. You can't miss it.
Yeah, so good.
And totally translatable to the postseason as well. So as far as preseason winners for the Celtics, I think you can make a case for like several guys. So hear me out here. Peyton Pritchard, he upheld the legend of preseason P. He kept that 3-point shooting percentage at 49%. He can clearly carry any team of third stringers to a victory. Jordan Walsh seemingly secured a rotation spot. 3-point stroke looks good. Confidence rising. Jayson Tatum shook the haters and the doubters as far as his 3-point stroke. He shot 39% from 3 on 9 attempts per game, which is not low volume by any means. Jaylen Brown had a rough game in the end against the Raptors there, but like somehow came back even more jacked. Maybe you can attribute him the winner just from that alone. Luke Cornett had people talking about him being potentially like starting caliber. And then Lonnie Walker, maybe we can put him more in the loser category along with Jaden Springer.
We'll see.
But of those names, Trey and Jake, who stands out as like the key winner from the Celtics preseason?
Trey, you go first. You're our guest. Who's your guy?
I'm gonna say the person I was very, very, very impressed with so far is Cornett. I've always been a big Cornett guy, just as this is somebody you can in an 82 game season, like you're not like crapping your pants if he's out there for like 15 minutes. Like he's just gonna do his job. He knows where he needs to be. I think you're kind of seeing the value of like continuity, like just saying like, hey, you've been here for 4 years. You know where Jayson Tatum is going to be on the court. You know how to make yourself open. You know that he's going to hit you with a pocket pass, in the middle of the floor. And you know that there's probably going to be a shooter in the corner. So, his reads are really quick right now. They're pretty automatic. I've always liked that about his game because I think even in his first stint here when Ainge kind of just like randomly traded for him, 2021 he had. Yep. I mean, there was moments where he was mostly like garbage, but like he had flashes where he would be. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He was not really good. I mean, he was doing that whole like I'm a stretch big, but I'm only shooting like 31% from three thing. So I think now he understands how he's gonna last another 10 years in the league, and it's gonna be, hey, you give me the ball in the restricted area, I'm going to either dunk it or I'm going to find an open guy. And I think he fully understands that, and I think that's a really valuable guy to have as your third string center. Yeah,
man. Great place to start. Luke Cornett, I think. I had a clip here, and again, shout out Nick NBA. He's like becoming like the best to like the breakdown stuff, and he drew my attention to this play today, which we can talk over here. But and this is exactly what you're talking about. Cornett gets the ball, handoff straight to Tatum. Tatum hits him on the short roll. Cornett hits Tillman before he even touches the ground, and then it's a 2-man game with Tillman and Cornett. Like. Yep. It's like high level shit, dude. Like he catches the ball, quick handoff to Tatum. Tatum is like immediately knows where Cornett's gonna be, and that's like quick touch pass to Tillman, who is now he's driving closeouts off the pump fake.
And posting up as well.
We're not into these guys, man.
It's crazy. So like Cornett, I think it is gonna be the year of Cornett. I think because he is like I think broadly people have. Know who Sam Hauser is and Peyton Pritchard. They saw those guys play in the NBA Finals with KP out. Cornett, I don't think he's going to start, but we'll see. He's going to play a lot, and I think he's going to be a name that people have to learn. Remember the name Luke Cornett. It's like people are going to see Luke Cornett checking in, and they're going to think he's Cody Zeller because they don't know, and then they're going to be like, "What? Did they just win the Cornett minutes again?" Yeah, they did because that's what he does, man. He just plays really solid. Offense, he's like straight up good now. Defensively, he's just 7'1" and in the right spots. That's all all you need to do.
Yeah, man. The year of Luke Cornett and being the favorites to win the championship is like what a pairing, man. That's never would have guessed that in a million years.
I'm really hoping he plays enough that he gets a big deal. I would love for him to he's our Brian Scalabrine and he's just kind of hanging around on the vet minimum. Sure. But like, I really want him to get like life-changing money. Cause I think this is at least like what 30 million. He can get like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what his market is, but like a good backup center is worth a good amount of money.
Yeah, man, there's some contracts out there. Like, does he get the Saric type where this is going to be interesting. So he had a quote that was like, essentially saying he had other offers They must have
I
been.
saw that.
They must have been close to the minimum, like maybe annual average salary of like $4 million. If he plays well as like the legit second big man on the Celtics for the first half of the season, I think he can get closer to that $10 million mark. Shout out Jacob in the chat for the super chat here. Shoulder, should Luke start over out to keep his minutes down? When KP comes back, he will come off the bench anyway. Much love to you as well, Jacob. I don't really mind either way. I think
Neither.
I think in matchups, I'd prefer where it's like Wizards, Pistons, Bulls, Raptors, start Luke Cornett. In games that Knicks, Bucks, I'd rather still start Al Horford. But yeah, can he get to that 10 million? I like selfishly, there's a part of me that wants him just to stay for the next 5 years, but he can't turn down a 3-year,
turn down
$24 million deal. No.
Well, because we have to shuffle the deck.
He turned it down, I'll be so mad at him.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah. Well, we have to shuffle the deck roster-wise. Because the salary cap is going to catch up with us, and we do have to ship off some guys. So I'm totally speculating here, but have there been some like under the table conversations with Luke, like stick with us. Once we have to get rid of like half our roster, we'll re-sign you at like a Tice level deal, which is 3 or 4 years, 35 mil. It's definitely possible. Other winners, I got to get to Jordan Walsh as well. Walshy, our guy here on the First of the Floor show, who, like I said, seemingly secured a rotation spot. We were there, Jake, at Summer League in Vegas, where he just like shat the bed over and over again at like every opportunity, except maybe against that Lakers in that Lakers game. But he spent from July to October getting so much better. And I really never would have guessed it. Like for him to make that level of ascendance in such short of time and now be like genuinely vying for a roster spot. And we have the luxury of like not even really having to think about Lonnie Walker because Jordan Walsh has been so good. Definitely, I would say like top winner of the preseason.
Absolutely. Jordan Walsh. I mean, you got it right here on the screen. Jordan Walsh and Joya. I mean, there's nothing better, dude. There's nothing better than the 38th overall pick. And again, preseason. We'll see if he can do it in real games. But yeah, like you can't ask for much more from Jordan Walsh in the preseason. He got more confident as the preseason went along. The way that he was finishing at the rim, man, we almost got the game winner. But like he was poised. He made some big shots. And going back to the Cornette stuff, doing like the simplified version of Cornette, just like catching the ball, quick passes, simple passes. But that's all you need to do in this offense, man, is keep the machine going.
You just need those chain moves. And he had one good pass that like I think it was, I can't remember if it was the first game, but it was just like a simple behind me, just a little shovel pass right behind the Sam Hauser. And it was just like that, that is the type of play where you're going to get, 10 minutes a game. I don't care if it's like, you're playing in the playoffs or whatever, but I just need to see that you can, get on the court and know what to do and get the ball to the right people. And regardless of your shooting, I mean, the shot looks great. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting the jumper to look like.
Yeah, even his ability to get downhill.
Scout said that he didn't even change it, but it looks different. He did something to it. I don't know what, but it did not look like that last year. I swear.
Any other winners or losers from preseason? We don't want to hang on this too long because it's like kind of in the rear view mirror. But any other names on either side of the coin stick out to either of you? I
mean, the simple one is like Tatum shooting. What did you say? You think 39% on 9 attempts? Like that's. I mean, I would chop off something to have that to hold through the regular season. That would be perfect. I mean, he did this in the regular season last year. Like I wasn't someone that was like especially worried that his 3-point shot was going to be garbage forever. Like he shot 38% last year. It's just good to see that he didn't forget to shoot, even though I wasn't worried about it. But yeah, and then Lonnie Walker. So today we got a bit of news. We saw the Celtics waive Ron Harper Jr., Jay Scrubb, and Hasten Ward, but they did not waive Lonnie Walker. So he is still on the team. Why would they waive the other guys and not Lonnie? There might be some actual reason for that, but I feel like it's at least a small percentage point in favor of the Celtics being likely to keep Lonnie Walker. Because Trey, I'm guessing you're of the opinion that it would be great to keep Lonnie Walker around.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was like a no-brainer, to be honest. Like, I mean, I see the whole like, oh, it's gonna cost an extra like 10 million, but I mean, I'm sure they knew that when you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure Mike Jaron, whatever, understands the tax implications of signing another guy to the vet min or whatever the contract is. And I like Lonnie. I've always liked Lonnie. I mean, I thought I was kind of thinking that like trading for him in the last few seasons would have been a good decision. Just signing him to the vet minimum, like I'm gonna throw a party up for that. Like, geez, like we're gonna get a guy who can, one, create his own offense. Two, I really enjoy Peyton Pritchard and I really value his contributions, but I do, like, just for my own like ease of mind, want to know that if we're in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals, there's another option to go to. Because I will say, I do appreciate what Peyton did last year. He had a good year. He had a good couple runs, but he was really not like every time he played in the finals, I was kind of screaming on my TV for Joe to get him out of the game because I just think when you're that size and you're playing a guy like Luka, when you're playing someone who can just say, "Hey, come up, I want you to guard me," like, and you can't, and on the other end you can't really finish. It's just really hard to have like you're a 4-round player. I think Peyton's a great 82 game season guy. He's a great this game doesn't matter guy. He's a great guy to have on the team. Don't get me wrong, but like I want another option, and I think Lonnie is the kind of guy who can say, "Hey, he's 6'5" and he can finish at the rim and shoot." So I would like to have him on the team.
Yeah, look, it was awesome that Peyton Pritchard hit half-court shots in the finals, but those were like the only shots that he hit, and so
that's the only shots he made. Like,
yeah. And like, there's just no doubt about it. You saw it immediately with Lonnie Walker. Like, he can like float through the air and finish around and over defenders like multiple at a time in a way that Peyton Pritchard's never going to be able to. Like, Peyton Pritchard shot over 70% in the restricted area, but it's because he's shot like 12 like layups.
One game.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think there's obviously value to having Lonnie on the team. We're just unsure of like how it's going to work roster-wise. So fingers crossed that, Wick just steals his dad's credit card one more time for that one.
Just one more time, man. You just need, like, come on. Just
tap
I know
it.
you have his Cash App password. I know you have his Cash App problem. Like.
Come on.
Yeah. Only other name worth mentioning, probably Jaden Springer, loser of preseason. I mean, I guess it's to be determined along with Lonnie Walker in terms of like what's going to happen, what decisions do the Celtics end up making with where they go and where they end up. But just based on court performance and like lack of seizing the opportunity that he was clearly given like multiple times to perform and show that he's worthy of a roster spot or a rotation spot, I think failed pretty miserably. Fairly safe to say. We're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsors. We've got to pay the bills here on the First of the Four show. But when we come back, we're going to talk all about Baynesy. Aron Baynes has announced his retirement. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? I don't know. No, seriously, I don't. Please tell me. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. I use PrizePicks before most Celtics games to add a bit of spice to my viewing experience. You just choose less or more on a player stat, and this is where you can take advantage of your divorce level Celtics knowledge. For example, right now I'm picking more on Tatum to average 26.9 points per game this season, and if I could, I'd take more on Al Horford flooring us all with his eyes every game. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Aron Baynes announced his retirement. We're all sad to hear. I think there was maybe a small percentage of us that were hoping he'd somehow find his way back to the NBA, but he spent his last year in pro ball playing for the Brisbane Bullets, I believe, here in Australia. But obviously legendary status with the Celtics for so many reasons, which we're going to get into. But Trey, you're a guest. We'll go to you first. Just like you heard the news about Aron Baynes, what was sort of the first thoughts that came to mind for you?
First was I thought he had already retired, so I was a little like, oh, right. But no, I loved Aron Baynes, man. Like even before he was a Celtic, I liked watching him. I just thought, I just like those like I don't know bruisers, and Aron Baynes was literally the bruiser among bruisers. Like I don't know, he's just one of those guys that he did what the team needed him to do in every stop. Like Celtics needed him to shoot threes in a playoff series. Let me hit 5 of them, man. Let me outplay Joel Embiid in a crucial playoff moment and get a stop. Like just a really good guy. He was and I think the lasting memory I have of Aron Baynes is the year when they won the championship in San Antonio, and he is just absolutely trashed in some club. I don't know if they're in Miami or wherever they're at, and Tim Duncan is carrying this ginormous human being into the team bus. And it's just like it's just a fun. He's just a guy I want to go get a beer with,
Oh, dude. He's absolutely a bucket list item, bucket list beer guy. Yeah, he's like, Tim Duncan's carrying him, a TMZ reporter's like asking him questions, and Baynes is like, mate, what happened? And then Tim Duncan's like, shut up. And he's like, okay, yes, sir.
that was an MVP moment from Tim Duncan right there.
That's right. That's true MVP performance right there. Again, thank you, Jacob. Rookie Baylor, also a preseason loser. I think that's probably fair, but thankfully we don't need too much from Baylor. Low bar. But Aron Baynes, I think this is easily his most memorable moment for me as a Celtic.
Took a look at Baynes in the shower. He looks like all of Australia. He is really put together.
Oh man!
Can I just say, Tommy Heinsohn, he's been around for a long time. Man. He's been in a lot of locker rooms. He's seen a lot of dicks. Let's be honest. And the standout one was Bainesy. After like decades of dicks, Bainesy's the one that sticks out.
What is with these old guys? Yeah. Dude, we got Jerry Jones getting in trouble about talking about guys' dicks as well at the moment. Like, I guess Tommy Heinsohn can get away with it because he was a player, so it's not as bad. But yeah, I don't know, man. Ben, that Australian trait didn't make its way to my part of Australia. Maybe it's a northern Australian trait.
He's originally from New Zealand. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Partly. I did see Aron Baynes at the airport a few months ago, and he was like in like the Brisbane Bullets were on my plane, and they were a few seats ahead, and the whole plane I was like getting ready to talk to him when I got off the plane, and I saw him at baggage claim, and I had a chat to him, and I was like, dude, we missed those bone crushing screens you used to set and the way you guarded Embiid. And he was like, oh, thanks, bro. Dude, he in that you call the trait in that Sixers series, in that playoff run, regular season, he was 3 for 21 from 3 for the entire regular season. In the playoffs, 11 for 23 and 7 for 16 against the Sixers specifically. It's like, if that doesn't tell you right there that we're just destined to kick the shit out of them, it's that. Yeah,
it's the Sixers' fault.
If I was a Sixer fan and I saw that stat, I'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna pick a new sport. Like, this is not it's really not for me. Really, God hates
absolutely. Move to another city. Like anyone who screams at their own dick and balls to hype themselves back up and get into a game on the bench there reaches legendary status in my eyes. We keep drifting back to the dick jokes with Bainesy, but it's difficult, right? It was so punctuated his career.
Exactly. No, man, he was awesome, and I thought it was a good time to have a look at this, because we talked about Luke Cornett, we have Aron Baynes, Daniel Tice. Trey, there's a long lineage of tall white guys that have prospered under the umbrella of the Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum and Brad Stevens era here. Is there one? Go ahead.
they pay the bills for these guys, man. They like seriously, like I'm serious. Like I'm just if you are a like semi-talented Caucasian white big man, you need to come play for the Boston Celtics because Jayson Tatum is going to make people know your name. He's gonna get you an extra $10 million in your bank account, and you're gonna get a championship.
So I was trying to think, like, those are the main three: Kelly Olynyk, Tyler Zeller, that also come to mind. But like, if we're gonna rank these guys, Cornette, Tice, and Baynes. So I would say those are like the three guys. Who do we have at the top here? Because I feel like it's Tice. Tice had to be the starter, and he was really good, man. But his best role was obviously as the backup. I don't know. Where do you have these guys ranked right now?
So we're including Kelly in this.
No. I think just keep it to Baynes,
okay.
Tice, and
Jay-Zero.
Tice number one then. Tice number one.
Tice number one.
Tice number one, easy. Not even a question to me. I would literally want to run through a wall for Daniel Tice. Like, I mean, I would say that whole season, like 2019, 2020 season, that bubble year, he was. I mean, not even just like, okay, you're like, all right, but he was a good starting center for us. Like, they were top 4 in defense, I remember, or top 6 in defense. His backup was freaking Enes Kanter. Like, yeah, bro. I mean, Kanter had a good year that too. I don't like him, but he was actually not bad that year. But Tice was guarding Giannis. He was guarding Joel. He was guarding Bam Adebayo. He got his ass kicked, but hey, he came back for more every single time, man. I never saw that guy quit. Getting kicked in the ball. He was getting kicked anywhere. They were beating on him, man. This guy's 6'6". He's 6'6". He's probably on a good day 220. He was not made for this role, and he did his job. Never complained. I like that. I love that guy, man. I want him back.
Yeah, war on Tice was a real thing that he fought. He got out of bed and fought every day. And let's be honest, day to day lost. I think throughout his career trajectory, you can say he won the war. But each day in isolation, just getting kicked in the balls that many times, taking charges and having them called as blocking fouls time and time again. It was a tough life for Tice, but he stuck it out. And I think I believed way more in his three-point stroke than anybody else did, including the Celtics coaching staff, who didn't necessarily grant him enough looks. But yeah, Tice is ranked number 1 for me, Jake. What about you?
Yeah, you can't have Tice below number 1 right now, I think, just because he was the starting center on a team that went to the conference finals. I do think Cornette has the chance to maybe jump him with how he plays before Kristaps Porzingis comes back. He's going to get opportunity to get big minutes here. Obviously, it's not going to be quite the same, but also there's going to be like a large gap, hopefully, between how good this team this year is and how good that team in 1920 was. So we'll see if the evolution, I'm hoping I can make the meme where it's like Charmander is Aron Baynes and then Charmeleon is Daniel Tice and then Luke Cornette is Charizard. There's going to be a Luke Cornette game, hopefully, and that's going to be the moment for me to drop that. But I think he has a chance to get there. Like he's really like finding himself offensively. So I got Cornette at 2. Maybe even Baynes has the spot at 2, but like he was the original double bigs man. Like he was kind of like the main bruiser while Horford was like shooting threes. Like they didn't always go to that lineup, but that was like the kind of the first iteration of the double bigs. Like first it was Baynes and Horford, then it was Rob and Al, which was like, destructive. And then obviously we didn't even see that much of Porzingis and Al. That wasn't like that good last year, but Baynes and Horford were kind of like the original double big lineup.
Yeah, what happened with Bainesy? Like, how did he went to the locker room during an Australian game? Yeah, he apparently back in the shower and tripped over something. Who's to say what it was?
Yeah, dude, he slipped in the shower like before a game and had to stay in Japan. Like he like wasn't able to play in the bronze medal match. Like he was in the hospital for like a month and had to still get airlifted all the way back to Australia. There was no, they didn't think he was going to ever be able to play again, walk again, let alone play again. And so he tried to make a comeback to the NBA, but he had another couple years for the Bullets. But yeah, that injury completely derailed the tail end of his career. Yeah, which is sad, obviously. But I think, you could kind of interchange Cornet and Baynes probably at this point.
I think Cornet might get the leg up. He's got the championship.
Yeah, no Larry Baynes. Sorry, man.
I'm sorry to do it to my guy, but I mean, if you got a ring, you got one.
yeah.
Aron Baynes, man, what a fucking legend. Aussie legend, Celtics legend. Yeah, well, he wasn't playing. All right. When we come back, the very controversial ESPN/Ringer top 100s. But first, got to pay the bills again. Here's a word from our friends over at Game Time.
The wait is over. Celtics basketball is back, and Game Time is the best way to get your tickets to see the best team in the NBA. Game Time has tickets for all events, concerts and shows, not just sports. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite team even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. We used Game Time to get our tickets to Summer League, and it couldn't have been easier. You could go see the Bucks in TD Garden for as little as $77, or maybe you want to drive to Charlotte to watch Tatum drop 50 on the Hornets as per usual. That will only cost you $26 to get in the building. Game Time has a lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create your account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time!
Now, Jake, I got to throw to you here because you've spent the better part of the day just lining up the takes on Twitter, battling with some of the agendas from opposing fan bases with this ESPN Top 100. So what's the skinny here?
I learned how to battle them from Trey, man. Trey gives me confidence out here on Twitter. I love it. That doesn't take shit from anybody. We'll start with this one. Al Horford was ranked 96 on ESPN's Top 100. He was not even on the Ringer Top 100. He is behind guys. Yeah, he is behind guys like Brook Lopez, Jonas Valanciunas, Mitchell Robinson, Derek Lively, Miles Turner. What do we? I can maybe kind of start to understand it if we're doing projection. He's getting old. Then Brook Lopez can't be on your list. Then Brook Lopez is kind of the same category if you're talking about aging big man, but Al Horford's way better than him in every way. Better defender, way better offensive player, and way more sprightly. Lopez looked washed as hell last year. So the Tatum stuff we'll talk about, but the Al Horford one is by far the most offensive to me because it's did we not just see him start on a finals team, play 30 minutes a night on the way to a championship and shoot multiple games where he had 7 and 6 3-point makes, just monster games and just, locking up Kyrie and Luka in isolation. What are we talking about 96th overall? Crazy.
Thoughts, Trey?
You see, the thing I struggle with these lists is I don't know who the hell is making them. So I guess, you know what I'm saying? Who is it just one? Is it one guy doing this?
Yes, I think it's just ChatGPT.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins maybe.
And two, I don't I'm good with doing top 20 because all right, let's say who are the 20 best guys in the league. That's around all NBA impact or whatever. Mm-hmm. And once you get down to the 40s and 50s, I'm just looking at it and I'm I looked at it yesterday, the ESPN, and I was looking at the 60s, and I'm just I don't know if I'm mad at this or not.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I can't tell if I like doing tiers. I like doing these 20 players are all around the same, and if you kind of quibble about Alex Caruso is probably a little bit better than Mikal Bridges, then all right, I'm not gonna be super mad about that or whatever. You might have different thoughts on that. But Al Horford not in the top 100, that's kind of I don't know what we're doing here in terms of valuing actual like basketball. Because that doesn't make any fucking sense. You cannot name me 100 basketball players currently. You can't name me 100 basketball players all time that are better than Al Horford.
There we go.
I'm gonna say that for one. Like, there's not 100 better basketball players who ever played the game than Al Horford. So I know there's not 100 better players in the game right now. Just off the rip.
We've just seen that Al Horford is like playoff, like deep postseason rotation proof, where he can come in and obviously he can like space the floor. He can like bang threes from pretty much anywhere. And then like we can switch 1 through 5. I know as he ages, we wait till the later stages of games to do this. But looking at people who are ranked above him, Brook Lopez, Jonas Valanciunas, Mitchell Robinson, Klay Thompson, like these are guys who have defensive exploits that have been put on display time and time again, and like correlate that with the fact that Al Horford just put on display on the biggest stage in the finals when no other basketball is being played, that he can switch 1 through 5, defend Luka, hold up somewhat on Kyrie. I know there was like literally one possession where Kyrie cooked Horford, but for the most part, he holds up defensively on pretty much everybody. To have him ranked 96 and to have all these guys ranked above him, it's just pure fucking madness. I can't believe it. But it's also the controversy is there so that we engage with it and we have these discussions. So I kind of get it.
Yeah, it worked last year with Derek White being off the list, right? Like the ESPN top 100
they
list.
Ate off that for like 3 months. Like,
now he's like 39.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah,
that was a good trick for them.
That's elite rage bait, and I mean, people aren't going to get mad about Al Horford in the same way. Like, but like they should. Like, if the Knicks had Al Horford instead of Mitchell Robinson, that would be a serious team to me. If
they
the
had
Bucks
him instead of Karl Towns,
that as well, dude. Like legit, no question. Dude. Like I wrote it. Yeah,
they had Lively over Al.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
57 or 56.
Yeah, Lively is crazy high, dude. It's crazy high.
Jalen Green as well.
Jalen Green, because he played well in March. Like, what are we talking about, dude? Like, we talked about it when I wrote about like how Al Horford is the ageless wonder, and how like the number of guys that can protect the rim and stretch the floor is like 10 players long, and he's on the list and shot better from 3 than like every single one of them. And then you look at like his points per possession defending in isolation, he blows them all out of the water. Like, every year, dude. Like, even like he has dropped off from 2022, but Al Horford's drop off is still better than pretty much every other big man defending in isolation besides like Bam and Anthony Davis. Like, that's what we're talking about. So that's the one that like really actually made me annoyed, just because Al deserves respect and he did not get it on these lists, which is it's bullshit.
Yeah, but
one other thing that pissed me off was they put Mikal Bridges over Derek White.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was just like, all right, I already know this. Like, so sometimes when these lists come out, there's just one ranking that I was just like, all right, not for me. Just like that one was like, what does Mikal Bridges do better than Derek White?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they put this whole thing together and then they have another meeting where they're like, how can we fuck with this for engagement and to piss people off and to rage bait people? And they do it well. But our entire starting 5 is in the top 50, which is a luxury I don't think has been afforded to literally any of the other 29 teams in the league. I'd have to check again. But that's ridiculous. KP, the lowest at 46, and then Derek White, 39, Drew, 36, Jalen, 14, and Tatum, 5. I think he was 6 last night when I checked. So has he been bumped up?
Well, he's 5 today. I don't know if maybe you were looking at a different ranking. Like, he's 5 on ESPN, 6 on The Ringer, 7 under Jayson Tatum Hoop tonight. I was saying, like, I can kind of live with Tatum being in 7 and 8. I think he, like, anything below 5 is probably wrong. But like, as long as he's in single digits, I'm not gonna like lose my mind. Even if like, I need to know the criteria, because if the criteria is like Olympic type basketball, like 6 games, then I think you can still make an argument for LeBron being like number 2. Yeah. But like, if the goal is to win an NBA championship and you have to play 82 games, 4 rounds in the playoffs for 6 months, then Tatum should be 3 on this list. Like, really, like Luka being consensus number 2 when my goal now for the next kind of 24 hours, I'm going to go back and just cut together the lowlights from the finals and just be like consensus number 2 overall pick. That's kind of my job now for the next little while. We're trying to win the title, right? Then LeBron can't be ahead. He doesn't have the legs anymore. KD can't be ahead. Steph can't be ahead. Embiid definitely can't be ahead. So if you cut those guys out, then he kind of has to be at 5 pretty much. Shea and Luka, Giannis and Jokic. Those are the only 4 guys I can be fine with, even though I think that you can make a pretty easy case for him being above them as well.
I can see maybe I know you said Steph not, but I still don't. I think in a better basketball fit that he is currently in, where he's not playing with, whoever they got over in Golden State. I haven't even looked at their roster. Kyle Anderson.
Pods,
Pods,
cool,
all right.
Yeah, nice guys, but
Nice guys.
he's not playing with Derek White, Drew Holiday,
No,
Kristaps
yes,
Porzingis, and Al Horford. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see getting Steph as high as I could see him getting high as 3. I do I would say my opinion if Steph went up so high after watching him in the 22 finals, he's one of those guys where it's if you want, I still think he's not too far enough removed, and the conditioning is still really good, and he's not really an injury prone guy. So I do feel I could put him as high as 3. Luka's not. I don't think Luka's better than Steph, just off the rip. I appreciate what Luka can do in the regular season. When he's playing the Atlanta Hawks and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate that. That's good. And 34 points a night is cool. I like stats. I like numbers. You triple double. All right, that's cool. But I also, on the flip side from Steph, where I gained a lot of respect for him, I don't think my opinion on a player has kind of lowered as much as watching Luka in the finals. Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
That was not good. I don't know how people kind of gas it up a little bit, but I don't want to be hating, but that was not a good performance.
Yeah.
That was not a good showing.
No, for sure. If you are the first bullet point on an opposing team's scouting report in terms of them being a defensive exploit, go at Luka, go at Trae Young, go at whoever, they can't defend for shit. Let's make sure the focal point of our offense is to just attack this person. You should be barred from the top 10 in lists like this, because you're always going to be basically the reason if you lose in the playoffs, you're going to be the reason your team loses, because no matter how good you are offensively, you can't defend for shit, and that's a problem. You got to be two-way in the postseason.
That's a strong opinion, but I agree with it in this era too.
There we go.
I agree with it in this era, because I think more so than I think Luka maybe in the 90s would have racked up probably 3 or 4 MVPs, would have maybe won a title. I think you could probably get away with that kind of defense in the 90s, but you can't get away with it when there's 450 players in the league, and 300 of them can, shoot off the dribble from 3. So it's you're gonna have to guard, bro. I don't care. I don't care how many points you're scoring. You're gonna have to guard at some point.
I'm really just confused by how he has gone up after the finals and the playoffs. He had one good series. He was awesome in the Wolves series. Don't get me wrong. He eviscerated those guys, no doubt. He was not good in the Thunder series either. He got bailed out by PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. going nuts from 3, and he was garbage in the finals. He missed the 20+ straight threes and shot as bad as Tatum and Jalen did in from 3. But for whatever reason, none of that mattered, despite him being the exact reason that the Mavs got in rotation, possession after possession after possession. And I've been on this, Trey, people talk about competitiveness, and Luka's a psycho, he'll rip your heart out. Anthony Edwards, he wants it. But it's I get that they have that mentality on the court. I don't think it's that different to Tatum, but he just doesn't yell as much. Are you competitive off the court? Are you going to come into the season in shape this year, Luka? Because that, to me, shows... If you're watching the starting 5, I watched the episode last night where LeBron is talking about his body, and it's that's competitiveness. Are you waking up at 8:45 cold plunge all the way through the day as your entire routine for game day? That's competitiveness. That's not what I'm seeing from Luka. If you get to the finals and you're injured, you were fucking fine during the Wolves series, and then you were not, and then you played for Slovenia, whatever. And there was no reports of any surgeries that Mads Twitter told us that there were going to be. So, and Tatum, on the other hand, has a finals where, like, he played well, he was overmatched, but he was also younger than Luka was in that Golden State finals, and then he got better and won the title because he committed to working on his weaknesses. And anyway, it's bullshit, dude, that he's gotten away with it.
What I don't get is people are like constantly and like really annoyingly comparing him to LeBron because like they put up the same like per game numbers, and I'm just like, one, were you not watching peak LeBron? Like, because that was like a completely like different like animal. I don't want to compare him to an animal, but like I don't think he's human. Like that was not a real person. Like
alien.
The kinds of things he was doing. Like I remember being like, I don't remember how old I was. I was like, I must have been like 8 or 9. But that game versus Detroit in 2007, like I've never seen any guy just completely disregard the other, 14 players on his team and say, all right, I don't care how good or bad you are, but we're going to beat these guys. And I just don't get there's really no comparison to me because it's like you have probably the best athlete the league has ever seen versus Luka. I mean,
he's like James Harden.
He's James Harden. Exactly.
Yeah. Like he's a better James Harden, sure, maybe. Yeah. Like James Harden was also crazy efficient.
Really good.
Oh my God. Like, yeah. Like again, the defense, and LeBron was never this like insane high usage, like to the level that Luka has been. He was, especially like when he was with Miami and stuff. So yeah, there's no real
was cutting off ball. He was
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was a demon in transition. Like he got his stuff. Yeah. And you could say, hey, LeBron, you're not going to get 30 in the pick and roll. And he said, okay, I'll just roll to the rim 30 times a game and I'll get 30 that way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and he's done it for like 20 years at peak.
For 20 years.
Like top all-time human conditioning as well, which is insane. We're never going to get the like
27.
Yeah, that's wild. We're never going to get the Luka, like blocked by Luka legendary Mike Breen call. It's just never going to happen.
There's only one way Luka can win a game, and that is if he scores 35, has 12 rebounds, and is an efficient shooter. And I think if the hole for you to be great is that narrow, it's like you don't have the best in the world potential.
No.
Like Giannis can go 10 for 30 in a game, and he's probably still going to be at worst the second best player on the court at that moment because he's 7 feet tall. He's going to be the most athletic player on the court, no matter what he's doing, no matter what game he's playing in. He's going to be the most athletic, and he's just going to. You can't compare those guys to Luka because there's just a different physical aspect to it or athletic kind of aspect to it where they can like control a game without having to shoot well or do things that they normally do well just because they exist basically.
Yeah, man. Like Luka's there's a play that sticks out of my mind from the Cavs series. It's like Tatum is guarding Mobley. Okoro comes down the lane. Tatum protects the rim. They get the stop. Goes down the other end. Horford gets a wide open 3, which he misses. Tatum tips the offensive rebound back to Horford and then finds Tatum in the post who swings it to Drew for a wide open 3. It's just like Luka's still on the other side of the court at this point.
Exactly. Like, he's yelling at the ref saying, hey,
bro. Yeah. Hey, if Luka gets in shape and stops complaining to the ref, like if Luka goes into like Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum mode and like really commits to taking his physical state to a real level, then we can talk. Then he'll probably will be like unassailable, but he's not right now. And so like until you can be that guy, then like, there's always going to be massive flaws in your game. Like the defense is a problem, and the only way that gets better is if you like really, really, really commit to improve your conditioning in a way that's meaningful. Not like I stopped drinking bubble tea or whatever.
I see Mavs fans always like point to his defense in the finals being good because he had like decent isolation numbers, but it's like, yeah, he had decent isolation numbers because of the 5 shots that the Celtics actually took when they weren't cooking him off the dribble. Yeah. Taking 2 steps and now I'm open in the lane because you're not guarding me, man, because you're supposed to be guarding me. He's like looking at the crowd when the ball is like over here. I'm like, what are you doing?
Ball's this way.
Ball's this
Yeah.
way, guy.
I remember him stepping in front of JB as well, trying to defend and trying
Oh.
to take a charge, blocking foul, 6th foul, sit
Oh,
down.
that was the dumbest play I've ever seen a star make
And,
at any
yeah,
moment in any game.
dude.
Man. Like, what are you doing?
And the fouls before that were like you can look at all 6 fouls. All of them were like pretty much. So it could be like 2 that were fine, but like multiple that he like didn't need to do. It's like as you can't pick up dumb fouls as a star. And then he picks up that last one, and the first thing he does is look straight at the bench. He goes, "You guys better fucking challenge that." And then they lose their challenge, obviously. So they can't use it again in a very close game in this, what is essentially the decider of the NBA Finals. And it's like these are not a winning player at the highest level right now.
It's the NBA Finals, and you let your brain go to a place where you're just like from the start of the game, you could just tell that he was not in it. Like he was just like, oh, this guy is not going to be a factor in this game because he's a disaster. Like, and I think there's for a lot of guys in the league that are like, you see like a Embiid or I don't know, just guys who, I mean, we know the guys, the mental makeup of guys who win multiple championships. They're guys who, for 82 games, 72 games, they're locked in. They know what they need to do. They're not, staying on the other end of the court, thinking about the foul 3 plays ago. They're trying to go, get a stop on this play right now. They're not thinking about, the play call with the coach should have played or should have done, last play. They're just saying, okay, I need to go make this play. And I just don't see that. I don't see that kind of player in Luka. I think he's a guy that's kind of, I don't know, not saying he's satisfied with where he's at, but like if he is a guy, I'm not going to say he's like a mellow type guy where it's like, okay, I got my 30 and I'm out. But I feel like there are a lot of those guys where it's like, okay, I got my 30. I had a good game. And it's like that LeBron quote where he said, 2 points is not 2 points. Mm-hmm. It's like, like 30 points is not 30. It's not just 30 points. Like there's a good 30 a night player, and there's a lot of bad 30 a night players. I've seen a lot of those guys. Like I would say, I remember the bubble, Embiid averaged like 30 points versus us, right? And it was like one of those 30 where it was 25 in the first half, and then by the third quarter, he's got like by the halfway through the third quarter, he's gonna be taking like one shot, and I'm just like, oh, okay, he's not having it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like some of these guys, it's like you can get from 0 to 6. These guys can get from like 0 to 60, but they're not gonna last a 100-mile road trip. So it's like, all right, yeah, maybe I'll put those guys towards the like 7 or 8 for me.
I like how this turned into us just shitting on Luka. It's great fun.
Yeah,
Naturally. I've enjoyed it.
That's what happens at least 90% of my day.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, you
So
talk
good,
about the
but like-
Celtics long enough, you're going to shit on Luka Doncic.
Where's look, all the greats have gone through it. Where's the Michael Jordan after he lost to the Pistons, like, and he comes back, like he puts on like 15, 20 pounds, like all of the GOATs have done, like even Jokic went through his own transformation after the bubble. Like he was not a guy that was like capable of playing like 45 minutes a night, and like now Jokic just doesn't get tired. That was not the case 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point, because if you're gonna make these like excuses for some guys, then you have to look at Jokic, because this was a guy that a lot of people would look at and be like, oh, you can't win a championship with him as your best player. You can't do it. I never really got that, because he's so good. Jokic, so he's always really been kind of this good, but not. I mean, yes, he did improve, but he got I would say from like the bubble on, I was like, okay, this is a guy you can probably win a championship with as your best player, because he put in the work. He's a guy, like you said, he doesn't get tired. He's 7 feet tall. He's at minimum like 290. Like this is a really big dude. Yeah. He's a really big dude, and he figured out a way how to be good on defense. He knows what he's good at on defense. He knows he can play the passing lanes. He knows he's got his little tricks. He's really smart. Like Luka can do this. This is not. I'm a Luka disbeliever, but I also know he's really freaking good, and I also know this is not out of his ability to get better at defense and to get to a place where, hey, if your team wants to count on you in the NBA Finals, they can.
Yeah, if you could be that good with that little athleticism, like it's all
Yeah.
feel and like sort
Yeah.
of twitchiness, and like
all
then the
feel.
potential is it's weird to talk about like potential with Luka Doncic because obviously he's fucking amazing, but like defensively, there's an elevation there that I think could be found, just like in Jokic's case. Jokic, his feet don't leave the ground, right? Like even when he's running. So like if Jokic can find a defensive hill to die on there, then like surely Luka can do the same, but hopefully not in like the next couple of years.
Yeah,
while
no,
it's
hopefully he
the
doesn't find
Celtics
it.
championship window. Save that shit for later.
2030 or whatever. Once
Yeah.
Hopefully never. Hopefully never.
you get our 5, you can start doing
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
Like, well,
Absolutely.
like when Benyama had a quote. When Benyama had a quote the other day that was like, "I'm surprised at like how little some of these guys work." And I remember Kobe used to say that, like the league's easy, no one works hard. It's like, yeah, well, hopefully Luke could never, because there's no question in my mind that there's a level that he can reach that is nuts. I'm just hoping that he doesn't do it. Just hopefully don't talk too much to Jaylen Brown. Don't give him any answers, JB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
look.
start doing underwater workouts, Luke.
Yeah, no, don't do
I
that.
don't want to see you in the pool, bro.
Yeah, no.
Unless you have a
Nobody
beer.
does.
I wish you
Nobody
want to see
no
you
one
in the
does.
beer
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
pool
exactly.
next year, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Well, look, congratulations, ESPN. You had us talking about you verbally
Yeah, you
aggregating
got
here
us.
for like
Yeah,
30
yeah.
minutes. Well done. Trey,
Yeah.
before we go, what are your thoughts heading into opening night, the Knicks? Like, what are your concern levels as far as it banner raising ceremony? And then we have to face immediately after that, like potentially our biggest matchup rival in the East this year. What are your concern levels there?
Concerns? Oh, I got zero concerns. Absolutely none.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have any concerns about any team other than the Boston Celtics. Really, to be honest with you, like I don't even want to be like, oh, we're gonna win it, but like I think we're gonna win it again. I just don't. I don't see a team currently made that's kind of like you have the answers right now. I just feel like the Celtics are one of those. They're one of those teams that are have the continuity, they have the experience, and most importantly, they have the just overwhelming like freaking skill. It's unbelievable, and it's just like a really good combination where they know, hey, if you're gonna start switching us, we're gonna go in the paint and start bullying you. Hey, if you're gonna play drop, we're just gonna put up 23s in the quarter. It's one of those things where it's just like it's a chess game right now for them, and they have better pieces. Like it's not even a balanced chess game. It's like we have all queens and we're playing a league where every team is just made up of fucking pawns. Like I just feel like I
4D chess.
I'm not trying to be like, oh.
I love that analogy though. No, but it's true though, because like
That's really it.
your big men can't do what Al Horford does
can't.
or Porzingis. Your backcourt cannot do what Derek White and Drew Holiday do. It's cool that Jalen Brunson can go off. I'm not saying that Drew Holiday or Derek White's necessarily in a vacuum better than Jalen Brunson, but like you're talking about chess pieces and what they can do.
They
Like
can
there's
do
just
anything you want. Like,
yeah.
Al Horford can bring the freaking ball up and run pick and roll.
Dude,
and Drew
Xavier
Holiday
Tillman's-
is sitting in the. Oh right, Xavier Tillman is freaking driving in the lane and going
He's running pick
like
and roll.
freaking Magic Johnson. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was sick.
I was like, this is a level of just kind of supreme confidence that like you get after you win a championship, and you just get that freaking.
Yes.
You get
Exactly.
that. You get it off. It's all like, okay, then. Oh, this is how we do it. Oh, okay, we'll just do that again. Like I just feel like they're at that level right now. They're the 18, 17 Warriors in terms of like, all right, we're just
Confidence,
like this is a night we're just gonna we're gonna sleepwalk into the third quarter, and if we're feeling like it, we'll probably win this game. It doesn't. I think it's at that level. There is maybe a little bit of concern that, hey, if Kristaps Porzingis isn't healthy in like May again, can they, win as easily? But I mean, I've seen this team go to the Eastern Conference Finals playing freaking Enes Kanter 20 minutes a game. So I'm honestly not really that freaking concerned about who
That's
the
fair.
center, who's going to be playing at center for us. As long as you can walk in June, man, we're good. Like. Do what you got to do, bro. I don't care. Take a
that make you-
vacation, go back to Latvia. I don't care.
Does that make you feel better, Ben?
Absolutely. I've long been a proponent of like don't play Al Horford at all until June. So absolutely
Don't
makes me feel
I
better.
wouldn't wake him. I would not wake Al Horford out of bed if we have the Pistons on the schedule. There's no reason
Yeah.
to leave his house. Just let him chill with his wife and his 10 kids, and
Yeah.
Turn off your phone.
do what Dominican dads do in Boston. I don't know what they do. Just
Yeah.
Just don't play. All right, Trey, this was awesome, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Anything you want to plug? Is the Corner Trey pod making a comeback for Ben 19?
I always say it's gonna make a comeback, but then I just get super busy. I have a young daughter, so it's just like one of those things where stuff just gets pushed to the side. That's not about her. So
Totally.
what I will plug is you can just follow me on Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Follow
absolutely.
Trey on Twitter. Man, Trey, we'll get you back hopefully throughout the season, like Celtics late nights and stuff. If
hit
you're
me up,
around. Yeah, man. Always. It's fun to talk to you in real life.
Right? I know, right?
Definitely.
It's just like not
Almost,
a fucking
yeah.
screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Come back anytime. This has been awesome, and we'll put Trey's Twitter handle in the description below. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to the Patreon. Jake, Trey, love your work, guys. Until next time, go Celts.
Peace.